guys, and today I wanted to post a tutorial showing you how to do 3D on mobile, and I'm going to be using like MM2 weapons as an example for this. But yeah, let's just get started. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to go to a website called Sketchfab. On Sketchfab, there's a lot of 3D models that you can use for edits. So I'm just going to search up MM2, and as you can see, I found this GFX props, and it has so many weapons and things that you can choose from for your 3D edits. I chose this one because it has a wide variety without me having to download each one individually. Then you're just going to click download 3D model, and I choose the OBJ version just because that's what Nomad takes. A disclaimer that I do want to make is that Nomad Sculpt is not a free sculpting app. It is, I believe, like $8 or $10, somewhere in that price range, but it is not a free app. I don't actually do the editing for the 3D model on Nomad Sculpt. I don't really have a way, I haven't found a way for me to import it from directly Sketchfab to Funimate, which means I'm kind of using Nomad Sculpt as an in-between, if that makes sense. But I do understand that since it's not free, that some people can't access it. So yeah, sorry about that, but if you are able to access Nomad Sculpt, what you're going to want to do is you're going to open a new project, and you want to click the folder button up top, and then from there you're going to press import. And when you click that, you can find the file that you downloaded from Sketchfab, and you're going to want to open that up. And when you do, it might give you a warning you have a lot of files, and that's because it is a big folder. However, just open it in a new project anyway. Don't click add to scene because it'll add it with the blob that it gives you. So yeah, just open a new project, and it'll show you all the GFX props that you just downloaded, or if you downloaded just one, it'll show you the one that you downloaded. So what you're going to do is you want to click the three boxes up top. They're kind of connected. It's next to the folder, and you're going to, basically this part is kind of tedious because you have to go through each one to find out which is the weapon you want. So as you can see, I'm deleting all of them except for the waves, and you basically just gonna want to keep doing that until you have only the weapon you want for the edit. Of course, if you downloaded just one weapon, you can skip this process, but since I downloaded a big folder with a bunch of them, you just want to get rid of the other ones, if that makes sense. It's just to the one you want because you don't want to download them all. That'll be a nightmare in Funimate. Next, you're going to want to click the folder icon up top, and you're going to scroll down until you find export. From there, you're going to click the OBJ version, and as you can see, you want to have it as not the folder type, but the zip. That's what Funimate reads, and that's what makes this whole process kind of funky. I also forgot to make sure to save it to files and label your folder as whatever you're editing, so you have an easy way to access it when you're in Funimate. Once in Funimate, you're going to want to open up a new project and click add 3D scene. Once you're in the 3D scene, you're then going to want to add a 3D model. You can find the 3D model by going to files and finding the file that you just downloaded from Nomad Sculpt. Once you add that, you should see your 3D model that you downloaded, and as you can see in this, I have evergreen, and then here you can really transform it and do whatever you want to it. I'm not gonna narrate this part just because I don't know, I just sound really sick. But before I do, I just want to say, if you want to make it look glossy, you should add a light to it and make it a point light, and then therefore you can add a material to the 3D model, and it will make it look shiny. Finally, whenever you're done editing, you want to go back to the main project and add a background. I usually add a contrasting background to what the 3D model is. That way I can use chroma key on it later in Alight motion, and it doesn't look weird. Obviously, I'm not going to use a green screen background with a evergreen knife because it's green and it would just take everything away. So I just use purple. Hi guys, this is a little short time later, so my voice sounds a little better, but basically, I'm in Alight Motion now, and though I'm not using Evergreen, which I used at the beginning of this video, I'm using Waves, and it's basically the same process. So you're just gonna add chroma key, and then just make it the color of the background, so it gets rid of the background of the 3D model. And then once you have that, I usually turn up the threshold a little bit high, just so you don't have like an outline of green on it, and it just looks more crisp. Then another thing I do is I add smooth bevel. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it makes like the object look really crisp, and it adds like shadows and glossiness where it needs it. So I use that just to make it look more 3D. And I also add a shadow to it, and I duplicate the layer and make the bottom layer like a blur so it looks like it's glowing. And that's really all I do. I do most of the 3D editing in Funimate, and then I just make it like, I kind of just like blend it into my edits in Alight Motion, if that makes sense. I do the edits separately, which is kind of hard, but if you're able to complete your edit first in Alight Motion, I usually export it, and then I have it as the background in Funimate, so then I can incorporate the 3D object better. And then I usually just delete the clip, add the green screen background, and I just put it back into Alight Motion and then finish the edit like that. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and it's the best way I found to do 3D in mobile, and I really hope it helps all the creators that can't have a PC or like can't afford it. So I hope you all have a great day, take care, and thank you for watching.